Pliny the Younger, Epistulae, Episode 2. In the previous episode, we read the entire portion here and then translated the first part. We will now read the second portion and translate that. Qualit legi non servato temporis ordine, neque enim historiam componebam, sed ut quaeque inimanus venerat. To review then, Gaius Pliny to his good friend, his famous friend, Septicius, greetings, salutem. You have frequently or often urged that the letters, if there are any that I had written a little more carefully, I should collect them, these letters, and present them to the public, publicaremque. Now, call legi. This is the perfect tense of colligo, colligere, third conjugation verb, of which this is the imperfect subjunctive. This is the perfect indicative in the first person singular. I have done so, I have collected them. Non servato temporis ordine, not with the order of the time, we might say, with the chronology maintained, servato. We might take this ablative absolute concessively. I have done so, although I did not take any care to preserve proper chronology. I call this an ablative absolute because we have ordine, masculine singular ablative, modified by servato, which is in the same gender, number, and case, and in between we have this neuter singular genitive. I have done so, I have collected them, with the proper sequence, temporis ordine, not observed or kept safe. This participle servato is from the first conjugation verb servo, servare, and it is a perfect passive participle. And now the explanation. For, or because, and notice that enim is post-positive, which means that it cannot be placed first in its clause or sentence. It always comes second. For, neque historiam componebam, I really wasn't composing or assembling a history. So here we have Pliny's conception of a history. That is, one important element is temporis ordine servato. The proper sequence must be observed. So I didn't do that because I wasn't putting together a history. And now we need to supply some kind of verb here between sed and the ut clause, because the ut is parenthetical. Ut, with an indicative, venerat, is a parenthesis, that is a subordinate idea that is detached from the main verb. So we probably want to supply call legi or com possui, I gathered them or I put them together, or some notion of assembly. But I simply assembled them as, that is, in the way in which each one of them, quaeque, had come, venerat, into my hands. Quaeque is an indefinite pronoun, and it is feminine, singular, and nominative, because it refers back to the feminine of epistulas. Manus is a feminine plural and accusative, the object of the preposition in with the accusative indicates direction, but I did so as each letter, had come, venerat, into my hands, just as they happened to arrive. Venerat is third singular, it is pluperfect, indicative, and active from the fourth conjugation verb venio, venire. If this series on Pliny interests you in his writing, you might consider reading the translation of P.G. Walsh, Pliny the Younger, Complete Letters in the Oxford World's Classics series.